All right, in this final lesson on percents, not only are we going to translate our question into a proportion, is over of, percent over 100, but then we're going to solve the proportion. So we have a good bit of work to do. All right, what is 78% of 80? What is 78% of 80? So is over of equals percent over 100. Why don't I get some lines here? All right, that means the is number is unknown in this case. The of number is 80. It equals 78% over 100. All right, I hope you don't have any questions about the translation. That was what the last exercise was. Now I'm going to solve this. 2 steps. Step number 1. Cross product, 78 times 80. 78 times 80 multiplied by 0. Placeholder, 8 times 8 is 64. Carry the 6. That's 56. And 6 more is 62. Add for 6240. Step number 2, take 6240 and divide it by the number you haven't used yet. Now when we're doing these problems and 100 gets involved in every one, that makes our work easier, because when we divide by 100, for each 0, it moves the decimal one place to the left. It makes the number smaller. So this will be 62.40. Setup is over of, percent over 100, multiply and divide. All right, let's look at our next one. We think about is over of equals percent over 100. 80% of 620 is what? Is what? That means I don't know the is number. 80%, I can tell easily that goes in that spot. Of 620, 620 is there. I have the translation. Step number 1. I'm going to multiply 620 times 80. 620, and you know, when I multiply by a number that has a 0, sometimes I do this. I scoot it over and I bring this 0 straight down, and then I start multiplying. 8 times 0 is 0. 8 times 2 is 16. Carry the 1. That's 48, and 1 more makes 49. You can do it the other way. You get exactly the same answer. So this is 49,600. We take 49,600. We divide by 100. And we use our shortcut, moves the decimal 2 places. This is 496. 80% of 620 is 496. What is 5% of 1,000? Is over of equals percent over 100. What is 5% of 1,000? What is? Don't know the is. Of 1,000, 5%, and it's over 100. To solve that, step 1, I have 1,000 times 5, which is 5,000. Step 2, 5,000 divided by 100, moves the decimal 2 places. That's 50. When we get to multiply by powers of 10 or divide by powers of 10, that sure does make our work easier. Let's look at number 4. Is over of equals percent over 100. 4.6% of 70 is what? Unknown is, the of number is 70, the percent is 4.6, it's over 100. We are going to get to a different kind in a minute. Step 1, 70 times 4.6. Here we go. 4.6, I'm going to push my 70 over like that. Bring down that 0. 7 times 6 is 42. Carry the 4. 7 times 8 is 28, and 4 more makes 32. 1 decimal place. So this is 322. Step 2, take 322, divide by 100. We know what that does. That gives us 3.22. So this is a small percent of 70 is only 3.22. Now we have one that involves some dollars, but that really won't change anything. $23 is what percent of $92? Okay, is over of equals percent over 100. You probably won't ever find this proportion written this way in any books, but boy does it work. So $23 is. So 23 is your is of 92. The percent, what percent? So that's unknown, and it's over 100. To solve it, step 1. This time, the multiplication involves the power of 10. 23 times 100. That gives me 2300. Step 2. Take 2300 and divide by 92. Okay, not quite as much fun, but 92 into 2300. If it doesn't terminate, I'm going to have to add a decimal and some zeros. 92 does not go into 2 or 23, but it does go into 230, so that's where my answer starts. It's only going to go in there twice, and 92 times 2 is 4. That's 18. 184. Subtract. I have to borrow. That gives me a 6. I have to borrow again. It's a 4. Bring down the 0. Let's see. I think maybe it will go 5 times. 92 times 5. That's, whoops. Left that there too long. That's 10. Carry the 1. That's 45, and 1 is 46. Yay. It went in 25 times, so my answer is 25. In this, it is the percent number, but you don't have to put the percent because it will be printed for you. Once you translate it, it's just a matter of cross products. 159 is what percent of 100? Okay, is over of equals percent over 100. 159 is, the of is 100, percent, we don't know, so I'll call it x over 100. Now, really, there's no reason to spend any time solving this. Look at your proportion. 159 is to 100 as what is to 100? Well, the answer has to be 159. The bottoms are the same, so the tops have to be the same. So there really was no work on number 6. Okay, we have some more to do. Is over of equals percent over 100. What percent of $680 is 170? Well, the is number is 170 of 680. The percent, well, what percent? Unknown over 100. All right, let's solve it. Number one, step one, 170 times 100 is 170 and 2 more, 0, 0. Step two, take 17,000 and divide it by 680. Okay, 680 into 17,000. Not lots of fun. 680 does not go into 1. 680 does not go into 17. 680 does not go into 170, but it does go into 1,700. So my answer, first digit of my answer is right there. Well, what about just 6 into 17? Well, it would only go 2 times. Let's see if that works. 680 times 2, 0, 16, carry the 1. Well, it's pretty small, but I don't think the remainder will be bigger than 680, so here we go. Subtract for 0, borrow and get 4. No, I just have 340. And I bring down the 0, and I'm going to try 5 times. 680 times 5. Let's see if this is going to work. 5 times 0 is 0. 5 times 8 is 40. Carry the 4. That's 30, and 4 is 3,400. All right, so X is 25. It is 25%, but we don't put the percent sign on. Okay, what percent of 320 is 300? Is over of equals percent over 100. The is number is 300. The of number is 320. The percent unknown, and it's over 100. All right, step number 1. I have 300 times 100. I'm going to get a 3 with 1, 2, 3, 4 zeros, which makes it 30,000. Step 2 is to take that 30,000 and divide it by 320. All right, 30,000 divided by 320. And it does say round to the nearest 100th if necessary. Well, I might have to do some of that. Not a lot of fun. 320 doesn't go into 3, doesn't go into 30, doesn't go into 300, but it will go into 3,000. So my first digit of my answer is over that 0, then that, then decimal point, and we'll see what happens. Okay, 320 into 3,000 goes almost 10 times, so it can't go 10 times, so I'll try 9. So I have 320 times 9, 0, 18, carry the 1, that's 27, 28. So I have 2, 8, 8, 0. Subtract, have to borrow, leave it, borrow, leave it. That gives me a 2 and a 1. Bring down a 0. 3 would go into 12 4 times, but this is bigger than just 3, so I'm going to say 3 times. So 320 times 3, 0, 6, 960. Subtract 0, 4, 9 from actually 11 is 2. And that was a 3 right there. Bring down a 0. 3 would go into 24 about 8 times, but it's got to be less than that because it's not 3. It's bigger than 3. So let's try 320 times 7. 7 times 0 is 0. 7 times 2 is 14. Carry the 1. That's 2240. That looks good. So I have to borrow. That's a 0. That's a 6. That's a 1. Bring down a 0. Let's see, it's got to go into 1600. Maybe 5 times. So 320 times 5. I think this will be a 5. 5 times 0 is 0. 5 times 2 is 10. Carry the 1. 1600. Yay, it went in there exactly. I didn't even have to round. My answer is 93.75. And that is a percent, but we don't type the percent sign because it is typed for you. Okay, we have a few that are a little different, a little more. This says $24 is 60% of what? Is over of equals percent over 100. 24 is 6. What's the of number? Oh, unknown. There's the x. 60%, 100. Step 1. I'm going to multiply 24 times 100 is 2400. Step number 2, 2400 divided by 60. All right. 60 into 2400. It's not going to go into 2 or 24, but it will go into 240. It will go 4 times. 4 times 60 is 2400. And bring down that 0. I've got to have a placeholder, so it is 40. $24 is 60% of $40. The dollar sign will be written for you. Okay, looks like we have a couple more. Is over of equals percent over 100. 80% of what number is 32? 32 is on top. The of number is unknown, so it's x. Percent number is 80, and it's over 100. Step 1, 32 times 100 is 3200. Step 2, 3200 divided by, so this was my cross product. That's the number I haven't used yet, which is 80. And I have 80 into 3200. 80 doesn't go into 3 or 32, but it does go into 320. And it's going to go 4 and 40 times. So I got the same answer on the last problem, but it was different numbers. All right, let's look at one more. Not that far. All right. Is over of equals percent over 100. 63.84 is 76% of what number? 63.84 is the is number. The of number, unknown. The percent number, 76, and it's over 100. Step 1, 63.84 times 100. Well, luckily when I multiply by 100, it moves 2 places, and I have 6,384. Take 6,384 and divide it by 76. 76 does not go into 6. It does not go into 63, but it does go into 638. So my answer will be that size. It does say, or decimal. If I need it, I'll add a decimal point and some zeros. All right, 76, 7 into 63 would go 9 times, but this is much more than just 70. So I'm going to try just 8 times. So 76 times 8, that's 48, carry the 4, that's 56, that's 608. So when I try an 8, I get 608, subtract the 30, bring down the 04, try about half that much, 76 times 4. 4 times 6 is 24, carry the 2, that's 28, and 2 more makes 304. Yay! It terminated, and I get 84. 63.84 is 76% of 84. Something that might be helpful as you work through these, this is just a little extra thought, is a small percent is a small piece. So if I say 5% of something, I mean a very small piece of that something. If I have anywhere close to 50%, 50%, that means about half. So if I talk about 48% or I talk about 53%, I'm talking about something that is around a half. Finally, if I have close to 100%, I mean a very large piece of something. So if I say 89% of the class, I'm talking about very close to all of the class. If I say 90% of something, I'm talking about almost all of it. So sometimes it is nice to just think about what those percents mean. All right, use your is over of, percent over 100, and let's solve some percent problems.